Okay, so I'm going to be doing the throwback tag, and hopefully I can get this done. I want to get all my filming done like now. Hopefully the rain doesn't mess it up. Okay, so I was tagged by Makeup, which is M8KEUP, and I will link her channel down below because I think she's a really fun person to watch, and hopefully you'll enjoy her channel because I like watching her channel a lot. Anyways, she tagged me to do the throwback tag, like I mentioned, and I have all the questions written down here. I really didn't have to write them down, but I decided to write them down because I'm going to write them down below in the description box for all of you guys because I'm tagging all of you, and it would be cool to see you guys do a video response or just answer a few of the questions down below in the comments. That would be cool too. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started because it's starting to storm. So number one is, what year were you born in? And I was born in 1996. Number two is, do you have any pictures when you were younger? And no, I don't. I couldn't find any. Three, what TV shows did you grow up watching? I watched Franklin, Rocket Power, Rugrats, Roly Poly Oly on like Disney Channel, like a bunch of those, like Hey Arnold and like Scary Monsters, which I don't really know. It was okay. Oh, Cat Dog. Yes. Cat Dog. I loved Cat Dog. It was my favorite. I thought it was so cool. And my mom thought like it was the stupidest show ever, which it probably was, but hey, it was good. Four is, what did you want to be when you grow up, and do you still want to be that? The only thing I wanted to be when I was younger was a mom. And yeah, I still want to be a mom. But it wasn't really like an occupation or anything. I mean, I guess they kind of are, but you know. Anyways, 5, show a video of yourself, and I can't do that because we never did that. We never had video recorder thingies. 6, what were your favorite toys to play with when you were younger? So I like to play with Polly Pockets and Barbies, and I didn't really play with these, but Pokemon cards, like we would get them and collect them and like put them in like the little packets, and like me and my brother would be like, oh my gosh, I have like 3 of these Bulbasaurs, and like he would be like, oh, I have like 7 Pikachus, and I'm like, cool, Bulbasaur's better. I don't know, we would just like go home and like sort them, and I don't know, that was like the thing back then. 7, what's the most embarrassing thing you can remember doing? I never really got embarrassed when I was younger. Like, I don't know, nothing really embarrassed me. I can't remember anything that embarrassed me. Like, and I did some crazy embarrassing things that normal people would get embarrassed by, but I don't remember doing anything embarrassing. Maybe like at school when I guess probably when I like probably peed my pants or something. It was kind of embarrassing, but when that happened, I always just kind of played it cool and was like, nothing happened, but my pants are wet for some reason. And I would always tell them like, oh, I fell in a puddle. There's no rain outside, so that wasn't possible. 8, read something you wrote when you were in kindergarten, and again, I couldn't find any of that stuff, which is so weird because I can always find that stuff, but I couldn't do it for this video. 9 is, what were 3 songs you loved to listen to as a child? And I remember the song I'm Blue by Eiffel 65. Like, I don't know, I don't want to like sing it because that's just weird, but it went like, I'm blue, dabba dee dabba die. Do you guys remember that? Am I stupid or something? I remember listening to that, and yeah, and I guess it was in like the Iron Man 3 movie or something at the very beginning, but I don't know, I didn't go see it, my brother did. Anyways, and then She's in Love with a Boy by Trisha Yearwood. My mom would listen to it in the car every time I went down to my grandparents' house. We would listen to Trisha Yearwood, and that was the one that stuck in my head for some reason, so I'd be singing that one all the time. And Shania Twain, like anything by Shania Twain. And I did kind of listen to Britney Spears too, but it was like, oops, I did it again. So, you know, that was the only song I listened to Britney by, like, way back. It's not really way back, but anyways. 10, what was one funny thing you dressed up as for Halloween? And Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls. I dressed up as her because that was when I was in kindergarten. I dressed up as her, and I went to my kindergarten teacher's house, and it was cool. We kind of chilled out there for a little bit, and then I came back home because I don't really remember remember doing anything else, so I think I went home after that, but I don't know. Anyway, 11, tell a funny story of something you remember happening. A funny story? Nothing really. I don't really remember doing anything funny when I was younger. Oh, I remember. Okay, so, like, all the time, I would hang out with my older brother, and we would, like, he would hang out with all of his friends, and I would just follow him around, because what's little sister gonna do? Follow her brother around. So I did, and we were hanging out at his like, best friend's house, Damon and Wes's house, and they had a dog, a big, like, black lab, and his name is Tucker, and he was just as tall as me, maybe a tiny bit shorter, but I remember wearing a white dress with sunflowers all over it, and, like, everybody was over. It was, like, Wes and Damon and my brother and Caleb, like, all of us were there, and I remember we were all just playing with, like, Tucker, or, like, messing around in the yard, and, like, Tucker grabbed a hold of my dress, knocked me down, and was dragging me through the yard, and, like, I am yelling for help or whatever, and nobody's helping. My brother is laughing at me, his friends are laughing at me, and I think, actually, Caleb came over and saved me from that. Oh, and another funny thing was, me and Caleb used to play Barbies all the time. Like, he's, like, 7 years older than me, and 6 or 7 years older than me, and he would come over when he was hanging out with my brother, and he would actually, like, sit down and play Barbies. We'd fill the cars up with Barbies and, like, smash them together, and I don't know, it was fun. But anyways, it wasn't really funny, but it was, like, something fun I remember doing. 12, are there any special things you kept from when you were a child? And no, I don't really remember anything. I probably have, like, some things, like, downstairs that my mom kept, but I don't know. I couldn't find any. Like, everything is buried, and I can't get to any of it. Sorry, guys. 13, what was something weird you used to do as a child? And I think it is kind of weird, but it was, like, okay, I guess. Like, I would just hang out at my neighbor's, and she was, like, old. She was, like, 60s. No, she was in her 70s. We would, like, I hung out at her house all the time. We would play Skip-Bo and Uno, and I would sit there and watch Jeopardy with her, and then I'd just come home. And one time I spent the night at her house. Like, we were really close. Like, she'd take me to her daughter's house, or we'd kind of just go down into, like, a town not too far away from us, and, like, just go there and get some things, or we would go to, like, greenhouses around the area, and, yeah. And that's the first time I ever tried, like, zucchini, like, cooked zucchini, I guess. That's what it's called. And I thought it was gross. I still think it's gross, so, yeah. Anyway, 14, what's the scariest thing you remember that happened to you as a child? It never really happened to me, but I was, like, there. There's, like, two things. One, when my mom went in the hospital, but I don't really remember, excuse me, anything. I just remember, like, the only thing that I can remember is, like, seeing my mom go in the ambulance. And that's it. Like, I have no idea after that. And I thought that was pretty scary. And ever since then, I've been a mommy's girl. And then, like, another scary thing was, like, we had a really bad storm. And the neighbor that I hung out with, like, her tree fell on her house. And she came running over to our house. And I thought that was pretty scary, too. Because I hated storms when I was younger. And I would always, like, be, like, sitting there with the radar person on, and it would be like, oh, storms are coming in and stuff, and I would be, like, sitting there freaking out the whole time, and, like, almost making myself sick, and sometimes I did make myself sick. I was so scared of storms. I hated them. Okay, and 15, how is the world a different place from it's basically, how is the world different from how it was like when you were a child? Does that make any sense? That's how it was worded. Anyway, like, I don't know. Kids had, like, a lot more imagination back then. And, like, I don't know. We used to play outside a lot and, like, ride bikes and stuff. And, like, I feel like no one does that anymore. Like, at least not around here. They don't. And they're always inside, or they're always playing on their Xbox and stuff like that. And it's, like, we did that, too. Like, we would play on our Nintendo 64 or, like, on a GameCube. Sometimes, like, the PlayStation. We would do that too, but then we definitely go outside and just, like, go play basketball, or, like, go play in the woods, or, like, whatever. We would just be outside messing around, but I feel like no one does that anymore. So, I don't know, maybe that, and then plus, you know, definitely technology has definitely be changed, because that's all anybody does. It's like they're either on their phone or, you know, whatever, which I really like technology and all, but I miss playing outside, you know. We need to play with, oh, I remember, like, we would play with, oh, I remember this one story where we would play with, like, well, I was playing with sparklers. I think it was, like, 4th of July. We were playing with sparklers whenever it was, and I was wearing this dress, and it was white and navy. It was, like, I think it was either polka dotted or it was floral or something, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna take this sparkler and spin it around, like, my back, and, like, you know, whatever the heck I was doing. I caught my dress on fire. That was weird, which I didn't really know I was on fire, but, yeah. So, I caught my dress on fire, and there was kind of a hole in it. I really like that dress, but, yeah. So, that's one of the other things that was kind of funny. It wasn't really embarrassing, because I never thought anything was embarrassing. Oh, yeah, my neighbor, one time we were playing, like, I went over to my neighbor's house, and this girl, she was, like, probably 5 years older than me. Yeah, I think so. 5 years. I would hang out at her house, like, all the time. Her mom babysat me, and we would hang out together and stuff, and then she had a neighbor that was, she was really crazy. She was, like, always weird things were happening to her type of thing. So she had come outside to play with us, too, and she was playing, like, the girl's house, Alex, that I went over to, she lived in a trailer, and there was a trailer right beside hers, and then our big Victorian house was, like, right next to theirs. So I would go across the way over to, like, back through the alley over to her house, to Alex's house, and we were playing, like, something with those big, like, bouncy balls, you know, like the big bounce balls thingies. I don't know how to describe it. Anyways, and she went to, like, kick it or something, and she hit it and, like, fell, like, on her back, and I turned around and I just held my laugh in, me and Alex did, because otherwise it would not have been nice. Like, we knew that was not a nice thing to do. So I held my laugh, and my dad was there, and he was pretty proud. He tells me because, like, he had to laugh. Like, he could not hold it in, and I am surprised that I did, because I remember it all. I can see it now. But anyways, that is the throwback tag. I will list everybody down below that I'm going to tag. And I hope you guys enjoyed doing this tag, because I kind of did. I get to, like, kind of relive my memories. And also, I'm going to have the Colors of the Rainbow tag up after this one. So I hope you check that one out, and I'll link it down below when it's uploaded. Anyways, have a great day. Sorry that this is kind of long. Bye, guys.